and I work like a dog, day and night, living off of coffee from a pot none of you want to touch!
After saying everything she had been holding in, she turned and walked away in anger. Her boss slowly walked over to the coffee station and ripped off the colored-only label with his own hands. The next morning, he gathered the entire department together. Then, right in front of everyone, he smashed the sign hanging outside the colored restroom, and he made one thing clear to the entire room. At NASA, there's no such thing as a white bathroom or a colored bathroom.
Here at NASA, we all pay the same color.
From that day forward, Catherine never had to sprint a mile just to use the restroom again, and she poured even more of herself into the job. For the first time in her life, her brilliance finally earned genuine respect from the people around her. At last, after countless sleepless nights from the entire team, America's first manned rocket successfully completed a suborbital test flight. The astronaut returned safely, landing precisely in the designated area of the ocean. The moment the news broke, the entire country erupted in celebration. But for NASA, this was only the beginning. The next step was sending an astronaut fully into orbit, and that challenge was far more difficult. To make it happen, they needed far more precise calculations for speed, angles, and flight trajectories. So the scientists kept holding meeting after meeting, desperately searching for a breakthrough. But Catherine's position was too low. She wasn't even allowed inside those meetings. Without access to real-time information, no matter how fast she calculated, she was always behind the latest data. Determined not to fall behind anymore, she asked Paul for permission to attend the aerospace briefings. He rejected her immediately. Out of options, Catherine bypassed him completely and went straight to the boss herself. She asked for one chance to sit in on the meetings. Thankfully, her boss understood exactly how valuable she was, and in the end, he agreed.
You keep quiet.
Thank you.
The moment Catherine walked into that conference room, every eye immediately turned toward her. The atmosphere shifted instantly, but what none of those men expected was that this black woman was about to completely change the way they saw intelligence. The meeting officially began. When one of the executives asked for the rocket's orbital velocity, Paul, the lead engineer, hurriedly started flipping through his notes. But after searching for several tense moments, he still couldn't find the answer. Then Catherine calmly spoke up from the side.
17,544 miles per hour.
The number had already been burned into her memory. When another executive asked whether the re-entry coordinates had been solved, her boss hesitated for a moment. Then he quietly looked over at Catherine and handed her a piece of chalk. Catherine instantly understood. This was her moment. She stepped up to the chalkboard and began covering it with equations at lightning speed. Within just a few minutes, the spacecraft's landing trajectory and return coordinates were calculated with stunning precision. Everyone in the room was speechless. At that moment, she solved the very problem that had been haunting the entire program. Even the astronaut couldn't help but smile and say,
I like her numbers.
But before Catherine even had time to celebrate, NASA introduced a massive new supercomputer. This machine could process millions of calculations in a single second. And just like that, Catherine's role suddenly seemed replaceable. Not long after, she was transferred back to the segregated black office. But before she left, her boss asked his secretary to hand her a gift. A pearl necklace, the one she had quietly admired for so long. He truly respected Catherine's brilliance, but against orders from higher up, there was only so much he could do.